Colonel Sapam, Chief Minister also said that he was compelled to declare war on terrorism. Compelled. What does that mean?
See, Kartikeya ji, the questions about drugs have been happening since a long time, and Manipur has been a place. All the drugs have been passing through Manipur, and not many people are involved. I'm not saying that like all the communities must be involved, and it's a matter of degree how many people are taking place, taking part in this. And we have seen
But
the
Sapam Sahab, let me
statistics
just tell
also.
you, today all three of you
Huh.
were here. After a long time,
Huh.
Manipur Chief Minister Biren Singh has given number of interviews. He has spoken to the press. Something is on audio-visual media, something is on the text. So I think today is the right time to analyze the Chief Minister, analyze the government, because this is an opportunity as a journalist. Because he has made certain very important points as well. Compelled to launch the war on drugs, the Chief Minister is saying. I'm going by compelled. He says pre-planned. There are important takeaways on that. So that is why I'm asking you that when he says compelled, what does that mean?
Yeah, that's very right. Before this 3rd May, just around 1 month back or so, I saw one video in which it is available in YouTube also. Chief Minister briefing the media on video and showing those, hills, all the ranges where the poppies have been cultivated and that the whole area has been spoiled. So he said he will declare war on this, and he had passed on that day only. And he said that some Gauburas also have been arrested and all those things, and stringent punishment will be given to them for spoiling. And he said that these are not human. These are also he said. So that was around 1 month before. Yes, this is the one exactly. And if you see this, the civilization of Manipur started at the foothill of this peak. It is called Kobru. The first Meitei, they started staying at the foothill of this mountain, this peak, around 2000 BC. I'm talking about 2000 BC. And, one sentiment has been heard, actually, probably he also must be tell as a chief minister, he must be feeling that now he is responsible for, maintaining the environment of this state, and it belongs to India, it belongs to the world. Environment has to be, the forest and all those things have been disturbed over here. So he must be getting, he is sitting in the top chair of Manipur, and he must be getting information that all these things are happening. And even from the center also, I would say, he must have been, I believe, as per the army functioning, from the top also, in a
Sapam
way,
sir,
in our functioning.
my question.
Can I ask him one question?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely,
Sapam
Brijesh.
sir, it's really very good to have people like detailing out the entire thing. But I just wanted to ask you one simple question, sir. War on drugs is brilliant. I mean, as a father of 2 children, I don't see, anything much worse than your kids succumbing to the temptation of drugs or the drug suppliers and all. But sir, where exactly, according to you, Mr. Sapam, that war on drugs changed into war on a particular ethnicity, if you get what I say, I mean, sir.
A
Yeah,
war
exactly.
between two ethnicities,
Exactly.
we can put it like this.
That is a question. That is a question which I also have been wondering. Now the chief minister must have been, he must have been briefed by the, home minister, union home minister and all. I don't know. Whereas in agencies are there in Manipur, he also must have been briefed. Brinda thing and all those things, those things are there. But then he also must have been pressed. Chief minister, what is happening in your state? So many inputs are there. So many infos are there regarding drugs. What is happening? So he also must have realized that we have to take some action. We have to take some action about this drugs and all these things. So he started off, and my question is, the one question I have, please, this is for everybody, and everyone must ask this question also, I think. If the chief minister takes some action against some wrongdoing, is he, number one, wrong or right? That is number one. And if the chief minister had taken some action against something, some wrong thing, then why to the community? Why to other community? where he belongs. This is one question which I have been, this has been
Okay.
lingering in my mind.
Mr. Tombing, Prasenjit ji, any one of you would like to take that question of Sapam Saab? Tombing, would you like to do it? Dr. Tombing or Prasenjit ji, would you like? Who? Mr. Tombing, would you like to go first?
Yes, yes. Right.
Okay,
right.
go first, then I'll go to Prasenjit ji.
Yes, the word compelled can be interpreted in many ways, and only he will be knowing what he means by compelled. And another part of the statement, that he was compelled to take war against narco related problems, but then had it been a war on narco related matters, not just of the plantation, but of the supply chain and then the production also, that was understandable. But then another way of looking at it is that I was compelled to start the war. So when we look at it from a broader context of it, the war happened to be between two ethnic communities. So what does it mean? Was the war initiated at some level of state? Then who happens to be the victim of the war? And when we look further and then we look at the victims, it is usually the war fell on the Kuki ethnic communities. So it's a very perplexing statement that he has made, and he would be better to explain what he means by that war, because the drugs-related problems still persist in Manipur, and it also has its ramification in Assam, etc. But then the impact of the war is being felt by the Kuki communities, and in retaliation also by the Meiteis. So
Okay.
how to reconcile these two things?
No,
Thank you.
see, my question is, Prasenjit ji, war against drugs turned into a war between Kukis and Meiteis. I mean
Or
to
rather,
say,
war against cookies.
okay. So how did that happen? You were compelled to. Okay, go on,
Yes.
Prasenjit ji.
Yes. You see, the battle and the war need not be confused. The war is never won and the battle is lost, Situation is such. So calling it a war is actually, in a sense, diverting it from the current situation of the logic of retaliation that is happening, the logic of victimization that is happening, and also a total absence of any reparation, any non-refoulement, any sheltering, is happening across the board. It's happening in a selective way. We can see Chief Minister going and inaugurating a camp for some of the displaced, but Chief Minister should go to Kuki areas as well in order to see how much they have suffered. So the war at this moment is something very decontextualized. It gives a very eerie feeling. War, and who is on which side of the war? Is Indian state at war with anybody? And this is a very connotative term. It is connotative in terms of our constitution, in terms of international law. So if you say it's a war, this really opens up a whole panorama
Because
of
Prasenjit ji,
questions,
the drugs is not a problem which is limited to Mizoram. Drugs and issue is in Nagaland. I have reported from Mizoram, drugs is a big issue there. So, there are a lot of other things. So, it's not something common to a state. It is affecting entire Northeast. So, the question presupposes is, when did it turn into a war between two communities?
That's what. This is the question. So practically it has turned into a kind of a ethnic conflict. Now, if a war is launched against the drugs, should it be turning into an ethnic conflict? It should not be. But when an ethnic conflict has gone at an intense level, stereotyping ethnic communities, putting blame on each other, and using a logic of blaming each other in order to develop an aggression, all this is happening at a subtle psychological level, also at the public discourse that it is getting polarized. So therefore, this whole idea of war is something pretty disturbing. It really doesn't resolve the current impasse in Manipur. it may create a kind of a smoke screen, or it may throw up new problems if we are using this kind of a term called war. Now, as far as narcotic, drug, and other poppy cultivation related problems are concerned, these problems are not connected to any particular community. These problems are also not connected to the hill region alone. It is a larger political economy of the state that is behind and that is in the front of such a menace if it is happening to that level. Now, without addressing the problem in totality, if we take a piecemeal kind of a position, showing one hill or showing some plots where cultivation are happening and taking action on those plots and evicting people, and in the process creating a lot of tragedies, human tragedies and humanitarian crises, is that the right approach? Our constitution does not necessarily tell us to do something like this. And government policies are also not directed to this. So this becomes a kind of a knee-jerk reaction, and there must be less of reaction, more of response, responses that are more mature, responsible, and also that which takes care of the problem, the victims, without taking a caring approach. If an approach is taken in terms of war, that really doesn't resolve the situation at this moment. I want to emphasize on this aspect.